Hello, hello. I am live and welcome. I'm Rowan Ravenwolf. I'm just going to invite a couple people to join. Okay. All right. So, welcome this beautiful Thursday. It's kind of cold here, but it's warming up. Very, very excited here. So tonight, this is, I'm going to start doing panels a little bit more. So Tuesdays will be my Tuesday one card tarot pulls, but tonight I'm doing a panel, and tonight's panel is finding balance in your spiritual life. And I think this is a really great topic. I teach classes, and I have a lot of people who are new into the occult community, because I actually specialize in the occult, who this is one of the biggest things that they ask is like, how do you do this? And it is a learning process. And what is really neat about the spiritual community is that it doesn't matter what spiritual path or religious path you're on, we all need to find that balance within our life. And we all may have different ideas, and we may get something great from somebody else that will help us grow and just bloom into the amazing people that we are. So if you are new and you have never seen me before or come to my channel, don't forget to give me a big old heart and follow. I am Rowan Ravenwolf. I happened to be a witch and a pagan. I teach classes. I teach classes on crystals, on herbs, on transforming your spiritual life to grow. I teach some astrology, and I specialize in divination. Well, I specialize in crystals too, but I specialize in divination. And I like to do live events. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, you definitely want to go to Triple Goddess Apothecary and Reiki, my website, so that you can join in on and see like everything I carry, like all the beautiful things. I actually specialize in carrying Priscelli Bluestone. So if you don't know what Priscelli Bluestone is, here, we'll pull the necklace out. Everybody's going to get sick of seeing this, but I love my Priscelli, so necklaces get tangled. So this is Priscelli Bluestone, this one right here, the heart. This makes up the inner circle of Stonehenge. And if you haven't heard of Stonehenge, it's in Salisbury, England, pretty close to Glastonbury. And it was built over 5,000 years ago. The outer circle is made of sarsen stone. And so I wear these every day. Yes, Candace, I know you want one. And guess what? I carry them in my shop. So I do carry them. So I have earrings. I have necklaces. The sarsen stone, I think I have 2 sarsen stones left, but they're actually big. They're like not quite this big. They're big pieces. So they're very, very beautiful. But it's just amazing energy with the crystals. So while we wait for a few people who I know, and we're going to be joined, Azrael is going to be joining hopefully soon. Tonight's topic is finding balance in your spiritual life. So I'm just going to kind of see, Candace, I'll let you come on up because you've been up on panels before. And up there we go. There's Azrael. So we'll kind of start with this. So those who are just joining right now, the topic tonight is finding balance in your spiritual life. And this is kind of a really open, broad topic, but it's a fun topic too. So it's one you can definitely learn and grow from. So I'm going to have a couple people up here. I have a couple questions. We're going to kind of go with the flow. And I think I lost Azrael. Are you still there? I think I lost you. I think you were up and then you dropped. Okay. So Azrael is going to be my moderator tonight. and I think he already kind of knows he's moderating, so he probably has that. So, Candace, welcome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Um,
Oh no, I'm in the first box. I'm gonna run.
I know. Well, like so far, you're the only one up here because it is what it is. But it's okay. You can just say hi.
Well, I thought Azrael was popping in, but that's cool though. Um, so what would you like me to tell you?
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? And if you want to, maybe just like do a brief little like thing about your spiritual path.
Well, I'm Candace, and I live in Oregon, and I'm a mother of three children and two grandchildren and two other grandchildren that live in Israel. Um, my spiritual path. Well, the strongest part of my spiritual path started in 2021. But I've been on this journey now, finding my footprints in the sand, so to speak, since 2013. And yeah, it's been quite an experience. You falter sometimes, trying to figure out, which is true and which is true for you, or you know, you take what resonates and leave the rest and go from there. I mean, it's all a learning experience, and just like this human experience we're in right now, it's all a learning experience.
It
But
is. It's definitely a learning experience.
it's all Azrael's fault. Just kidding.
You know what, Azriel, I think because I've made you a moderator, maybe it's not letting me let you up. Sorry. Azriel's like, where are you?
Oh, he can come up even if he is a moderator.
Okay, I must have done something weird.
I'm gonna run then, cause no, just kidding.
What is she doing? It says invited. Okay.
That is strange.
It's very strange. Because he's even texting me saying, I've requested, and I'm like, I'm inviting you. This is really strange. So, yes, I'm still fairly new with going live. So it is all, I
There
at
is a
least,
there is a possibility that if you make him, there he is. All right. I was going to add that if he had the ability to bring people up,
there he
you would.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. We got you. Yay.
that's cool. Hi, Ashley.
It's hello, Candace. Hello. Yes. So, Rowan. So it would stall for a second, and then I won't hear nobody, and then it'll freeze. There was something strange going on there. Some strange energy. So I
Energy.
think I need to light up an incense here.
Well,
Yes.
and I was like, as I was getting ready to go live, I was like, my internet was being funky. I'm like, are you kidding me? All day you've been fine, and now you're going to be like funky right now when I'm like posted I'm going live. So,
I agree. Sometimes strange energy. So yeah, I think we discussed this topic last week on a different panel or a different live. I'm not 100% positive, but it just feels so fresh to me. But it's definitely a must. You know, boundaries. So I'm eager to learn, listen, and share. And Candace, it's great to see you here. Candace is always a beautiful person, Emily, and
yeah.
she's always sharing her wisdom, knowledge. And you heard her yesterday. She was on Alien T's live yesterday.
Ah,
Yes.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I get the feeling like I don't have the experience yet to voice, use my voice more, and then I get just do it, just do it, you
You
know.
have to just do it. I know,
And you've
like,
been
go ahead, Azriel.
no, you're doing that. Emily. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is sometimes we have that little lack of confidence, but it's there. It's in us. And for whatever reason, something holding us back doesn't mean we need to be held back. We need to just like voice it. And the cool thing is as we start to do that, we realize we have so many gifts to share. And as we share gifts, other people will be like, wow, you just inspired me. Guess what? I do this, and I'm going to use that with your gift that you just taught me. And then you all of a sudden learn something. So it's like a beautiful chain reaction. And right now, like honestly, when we look at the whole entire world, more than anything, we need to raise the vibration and raise unconditional love in order to have peace and love between the world and to save our world. Because let's face it, we're like abusing our earth. And will it be around for like our great grandchildren? Or, I mean, like it's like things we really need to be conscious of. We need to take care of our bodies. We need to take care of all living things and the environment. And that's part of, I mean, for me, that's part of my spiritual path. I don't know if like Candace, if you want to like add anything to that.
So my perspective, I like that word, thank you. My perspective, just my thought of it is that, once I came to that point in my journey where I felt like I was too sick, emotionally and physically, that I had to do something to find out what was making me feel that way. What my mindset was at, or what triggers were there, and I had to do something, because obviously what I was doing was not doing it. So when I started that journey, I was like, it had to be important for, because I'm always giving myself to others, and it had to be important for Candace to start giving herself time to heal. So instead of jumping in the bandwagon and trying to heal the world, I just have to heal Candace. I have to do what's necessary to fix me. And once you get to that point, you're like, okay, I'm at base one. So now base two is, okay, you've got to learn how to accept compliments and accept the fact that people actually love you and care for you and understand how you feel. And all my life, I never had that ability to do that, because people would tell me, you can't have children, you can't do this, you can't do that. So here I am later going, okay, I'm here now. So what's next? Never ask the divine what's next. Trust me, never ask.
Our paths will be open when we're ready.
Mhm.
At least that's how I feel. Azrael, do you want to add anything real quick on this little snippet before we jump into finding balance in our spiritual life?
Well, that's awareness, and basically it's the awareness that one needs to be patient. One doesn't need to force anything or question anything. Just allow us, yourself to be in the essence of the moment. And the moment right now, the present moment is what one should be focused on. Because if you can't achieve or even set goals today and actually be on them today and be able to finish them, why worry about tomorrow? So one thing at a time, one step at a time. One of the things that I always been told as I was growing up, not only by mentors and adults, but also friends, people that cared about me, my friends that are still around, always say, crawl before you walk. Don't try to run. Don't run. And don't even walk. Crawl. Once you learn how to crawl, and that's taking the steps, and gain that awareness that for every action there's a counteraction. So for every pro there's a con. So you always have to understand that no matter what choice you make, you have to look at it with discernment and understand that, what, right now is the moment, and this moment right now is the learning lesson. Because whatever's coming tomorrow, if I can achieve it today, it brings me up more enlightened. So I'm gonna have more enlightenment to understand, what tomorrow's gonna bring. So it's being in the present moment and understanding who you are, loving yourself. And Candace, there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. It's not being selfish. When you love yourself, it's not selfish. So never ever get the impression or anybody says, you know what, you love yourself, you're greedy, you're conceited. No, I have to love myself in order for me to be the individual that I am, authentically and genuine. So it starts with self.
Yeah,
Hey, Tony B. So there was something else that you also added, Rowan. Man, I wish I had wrote it down, but since last time that we spoke, because I did speak to you about 2 hours and plus ago, I was still shopping. I was still shopping. I got home about 20 minutes ago. I settled in, brought out my groceries, and I said, "What the heck? I'm gonna have to make me a Salisbury steak dinner, from the freezer." But I'm happy here, and I'm eager to learn. And that's the thing about it. We need to pace ourselves. Oh, that's what it was, is that Candace said something, and you said that you're not experiencing stuff like that. And see, Candace, that's the misconception, because when you are around AT, me, Rowan, any individual that's here in the spiritual community, doesn't matter who it is, we're an extended version of who you are. We're a reflection of who
Oh,
you are.
oh,
So yes, am I giving you the old moments, the old moments? So you
yeah.
have to understand that we are all together to elevate one another. And Rowan said it as well. We're here to elevate one another. So as I help you elevate, observing you and seeing how much you're elevating, it elevates me, because we're able to share the wisdom. And these moments when we see something and say, wow, I just learned this, we share it with one another, and we're helping each other enhance. So you're never behind. The only way you're behind is when you stop loving yourself and you isolate yourself and choose to be away from growth.
Good point. Absolutely a good point.
Yes, and that's like I've noticed as I learn more, and I'm constantly learning because like I teach classes, but in addition to teaching the classes, I'm taking classes too because there's still so much. I'm like, I want to learn this and this. And then I dive into something and I'm like, I need to learn more. And this is how we learn and grow. And thank you, Toddy B, for loving my sweater. It's one of my, I just got it. Actually, we were on vacation in Utah. Sorry, I get derailed sometimes. And it was called Conjure Tree, and they have a ton of heathenry magic there. So if you're in, oh, I think it's Taylorsville, Utah. Yeah, it was near my brother's house. So, but sorry, sidetrack there. And yes, I love mine with my Icelandic stave. Um, but we learn and we grow, and even just coming and listening to the spiritual lives, you're going to learn and grow. And coming on in panels, coming and listening to, like, even watching, like I post content. So I found, for one of the things that helped me balance my spiritual life was doing a daily affirmation. And for the longest time, and when I say the longest time, it was like several years, it was, I love myself. And I still have post-its of I love myself all over the house, because it's like when you're brushing your teeth, you're looking at it right there on your bathroom mirror. I love myself. And the cool thing is that when I first started posting it, my son was still a teenager in the house and my husband was there. And I noticed their self-esteem was blossoming, even though they're like, oh, you and your daily affirmation. But I could see it was also impacting them in a really beautiful way. And I literally have it, like, I know I have it on my fridge still. I keep it on my computer, but I start my day with a daily affirmation and a quote. And so, like, actually, if you're subscribed to my channel, you'll see that every morning because it posts on TikTok, YouTube, and my Patreon. And that right there helps me start my day out right. Like, so if I happen to wake up and feel really tired, the minute I say my daily affirmation and I read the quote, I'm like, this is going to be a good day, And it's like, all right, let's get going. And it's amazing because I can be feeling dead asleep. Like I want to push snooze 10 more times, but it's that oomph to get you going. And then, Azrael, you were talking about like the self-love. Not many people were taught self-love. This is a generational trauma that has carried through for many, many generations, because religion taught you to serve others. And I'm not saying that's bad, but we need to have the balance. We need to be able to serve others, but we should be able to take care of ourselves. And if we if we don't have appropriate healing and self-love for ourselves, we sacrifice, we become people pleasers, and it's really hard for us to be spiritually in tune with our divine or our higher power, but also we're neglecting ourselves. And so how can we take care of ourselves if we're neglecting ourselves? And then when you help, you end up helping all the time. So when I was like a member of an organized church, if they needed people to take meals, I always felt bad saying no. They'd be like, we have 2 more spots. We know you always do this. Oh, Candace, I was Mormon too. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Massive religious trauma from a man who was a pedophile. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Soapbox done. But it was always like, we know you'll sign up for a meal. We'll know you'll sign up for a meal. And I'm sitting there thinking, I can't sign up for a meal. I have 3 kids. I'm a single mom. I'm running all over the place. And I was burned out and fried. And that was when I realized, oh my gosh, I'm neglecting myself. No one's looking out for me. And we have to remember, no one will look out for us. We have to look out for ourselves. And that's part of finding balance in your spiritual life, is making sure that you are taken care of. Because if you're not taken care of, nothing else is going to work. Nothing else will work. I don't know if like Candace or Ezreal, if either of you want to add anything on that.
No, I pointed out something that I do not know the word that Azrael said, that discernment. I do not know what that word means, but I do know that when I had to, it's like when I had to learn from the beginning, and I say from the beginning is because I felt that was necessary, because I got to a point in my life, especially after David died, that there was things that I must do. I wouldn't say had to do. I must do at that point to continue my life and my journey. That was written, you know, over in my past life, like 6 centuries. That this isn't something that hasn't happened before. I mean, I've seen it before, and I back up a minute. I actually know that when that perception happened, the way I thought things were to be wasn't what it was supposed to be. So I had to like rewind the clock, if that makes sense. So I had to start from the beginning again, because that wasn't where I was supposed to be at that time. And we had talked many times about, what is going to happen, what I needed to do, where I needed to go, and who I needed to talk to find my path in this world, to find my spiritual path in this world. And the day fully came before even I moved back to Roseburg, was when a Mormon bishop's wife.
That's I'm trying to hold on, give me a second. I was listening. Hold on.
So Azriel, I know
I think
oh, go ahead, Tati.
Sorry, there's energy. Yeah, okay. Your dog said that there's an energy in the house that he's not used to. He's okay with it. I'm not sure. Don't ask him.
Someone must be knocking on the door.
That's a good point. I was gonna ask, can you tell me a little bit about the sigil on your jacket? Because I've been seeing it everywhere lately.
Okay, this is one of the Icelandic staves, which I actually happened to teach a class on that today. So the heathenry magic or the dramatic tribes, as you kind of can look at it, there are different symbols and they do mean different things. Maybe I'll make that like a live and go into maybe this one that I wear. Like this one I have it on t-shirts and stuff too. So you'll always see me with something spiritual on. So, but yes, this is one of the main Icelandic staves. So,
When I was younger, I had a hard time like closing my eye. You know what I mean? And it because I could see everything. Like I could see like down to like the soul level of a person, and um, a lot of times like there are like sigils and stuff, and I've started like reopening that ability like a lot, like to the point where I kind of have to focus not to have my eye open nowadays, and I it's like um, I'm trying to figure out what certain sigils on people's souls mean, if that makes sense to me. Because there's like, if you look at, here I'll show you. If you look at a depiction of like something like the first one that I saw on.
One thing, is it able? I think your headphones might have bad connection. Maybe you can turn off the Bluetooth and turn back on your Bluetooth and reconnect your headphones because we're picking up like a signal in the background.
yeah, thank you,
I'm
Azrael.
sitting in a, yeah, I'm sitting in a restaurant right now. Can you hear me better now?
If that's the flower of life.
And I've done a lot of like research and stuff and learned a lot of stuff on my own, but there's like, okay, so I'm starting to see it more as, and I'm doing more research on this, but I'm starting to see it as each of those sigils, like each of the flowers of life, like they all like intersect, and that's how the basic structure of a human soul kind of looks to begin with. And then as that soul decides to pick up more things, it adds in new structure lines. And a lot of times they look like Mesosonic symbols, and I know that's for a reason. It's basically like reading someone's soul, but also their name, but also not their name, but also way further than their name. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I'm going to jump real quick. Just like we kind of talked about sigils and everything, but I do teach a lot of classes on spirituality. One of my favorites is the total transformation class that I teach. I kind of teach a lot of finding balance in your spiritual life. So while we're talking about that, Azrael, I have a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'll let you answer this first, and then I'll answer kind of last. How do you integrate your spiritual practice into your daily life?
Allowing it to flow, naturally. I don't premeditate it. I just allow it to manifest when it manifests. Because, there's a lot of stuff that, I've learned I get to share. But, an example like that shirt that you where we're discussing right now with those sigils. I gotten a download, recently, and stuff like that I do observe. And I do, it brings joy to me to understand that, on a day-to-day basis, stuff like this is in front of us. So when I integrate it, it's observation and knowing that all the tools, when are needed in the day-to-day basis, like for spirituality or any practice of mine, it's always going to be a look away from, so if I look to my left, I might catch it. It's having the awareness. So how do I integrate? It's having awareness of everything happens for a reason, every individual that we come across, every intersection when you are crossing the intersection, whether in a vehicle or walking. there's a purpose, there's a reason. So just an example of that shirt that you have there, each each sigil a symbol is actually a key. It's a key to unlock mysteries of the universe. And each one, we are here to identify which keys we need at specific moments. And those specific moments are exactly what you're saying, is the integration between the physical, or yeah, we call it the regular day, I guess the everyday, and the spiritual journey is knowing that any given moment you will be given downloads, you will be given cheat codes, and you will actually be given and receiving gifts from the divine source. Whatever journey and path you're in, any questions that you might have had today, yesterday, 2 months ago, 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. You have to be aware because they're always going to come and manifest in ways that only if you are aware, you will know how to utilize them. So that, for example, so that shirt, these sigils that are there are keys. And these keys represent our fingers. Each finger that we have in our hands, we have 10 fingers in our hands. Each of these fingers, we can assign an affirmation. We can assign let's say if you're practicing to send out intentions and manifestations, so each finger is like a magic wand in your hands. You understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
just like the signals, each one is identified by your fingerprint. So these are keys, but they're also fingerprints, fingerprints to your soul, fingerprints to your journey. So it's adapting and understanding that even the spiral of life, which is the sun, rising and the sun setting. These are signals. These are things to let you know that no matter what, there's always an on and off switch. You can always turn off your spirituality, and you can always turn on your regular any given time. So back and forth. So it's the balance of understanding, and that's the key what we're discussing here tonight on our day-to-day basis. It's just focusing on our goals. Our what we're setting, whether it's on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly, depending on how you're setting it. Excuse me one second. I have the instant a little too close to me, so let me set it over here.
I do that a lot. Like I'll hold incense and it comes right in my mouth. So
Yeah, so it's right in front of me. I just lit it up. I think I needed it because I did get some energy. But that's how I do it. It's allowing awareness because I don't want to take too much time, but I do want to give you guys these perspectives because these are things that if we start with the basics of who we are as individuals, right now we're in the age of AI, and AI is picking up an algorithm us as we discuss these things with one another in the community or with our family, whoever you're talking about it, we're creating an algorithm within ourselves. So in other words, we're not AI, we're intellectual avatars. So we have the intelligence and each one has an avatar. So instead of the AI, we are the IA. And we work with the collective consciousness. Our collective consciousness is our algorithm. So once we're in sync with the algorithm of our collective consciousness, is being aware. Computers run in software, computers run in software. We run in awareness. Awareness is these things that we learn, these things that we understand. And every time that we are aware of something and understand something, we utilize it as a tool for ourselves, for our growth. If I practice multiple things, whether I'm practicing, I really don't want to label anything specifically, but hypothetically, if I'm doing 4 or 5 different practices, I have to understand that not everything that I learn is for each practice. Some might be going to here, some might be going over there, but it's the awareness. So I take the awareness, which is the software to the mind, the software to my growth and understanding. So now it becomes a tool. So that's what I was saying with these signals on a day-to-day basis. Just go with what you need to do. Don't force anything. Don't go out today and say, you know what, all day I'm going to meditate and that's all I'm going to do today. No, live your life, do what you need to do. And when the time comes and you need to practice, then you do it by maintaining clarity and understand, you know what, right now is the moment, right now is the time. And I do understand that. And I'm going to aim to find that goal that I'm intending to by being in tune to my practice. And with that, you're working with yourself. You're allowing yourself to have the balance of any given moment. I could snap out of it and get back to what I needed to do. So it's all about staying consistent. Don't fall back on trying too hard on something when in actuality that something should be loving yourself and starting with yourself as the individual. So, whether it's an affirmation like you were saying, Rowan, on a day-to-day basis, I like to do what is called protocols. protocols are steps that we take on a day-to-day basis, which is number one, I'm going to go to the washroom when I rise from my bed, freshen up. Because I know if I don't freshen up, I might still be groggy. I might bump into things. I might be a little bit too clumsy. And I don't want to spill my coffee when I get my coffee. So it's understanding who we are as an individual, setting the protocols, like a few steps. It could be just 2 or 3 steps. After that, you allow yourself to integrate with whatever. Oh, you know what? I got to pay a bill. Oh, you know what? I got to take out the dog. And these things come naturally. So you don't focus on one thing. You already have the goals, but the goals will manifest as you proceed and move on. So you're not putting peer pressure on yourself. Why do some individuals that are 70 years old might look like a 40-year-old, where a 40-year-old, or let's hypothetically jump into a 20-year-old, might look like he's 60 years old because you're stressing too much. Life is not about stressing. Life is about allowing yourself to go with the flow. If you're going with that flow, you're like a leaf that fell from the tree into the water and just going with the river. And it's going to take you where you need to go. And that's where the integration of your daily life comes in, is allowing yourself to just go with that flow.
Thank you, Azrael. We think on the same wavelength because like actually my grandmother always said go with the flow, and that's always been kind of like my mantra. So so it's funny that you say that. But yes,
Emily, I'm going to give you a confirmation right now. What I just stated and what you just stated right now, and what Tony, she dropped on it. She dropped. But what did Tony just bring up there? She brought up the flower of life. All right. In Latin, the flower of life is the flor. Heard? The flor. The flow. It's the flow. So the flow is the flower of life. So the true reality is that we don't see the sun stall and stay there remaining for 18 hours. It's flowing through the sky, just as the moon is going to flow through the sky. So it's all about the flow.
wonderful. So Brenda, I know you said you had a question for Azrael. Do you want to, before you ask him the question, do you want to talk about how you integrate your spiritual practices in your daily routine?
Um, sure. I don't know if I get your question 100%, but what I do is I set intentions.
That's great.
I'm a very positive person, and I like to manifest it fast in the now. And my intentions are always positive, and if I don't get exactly what I get, I know it's for my higher good, that I did not receive it. So there's always a good thing out of anything you hope for and manifest. But I gotta ask, because I don't get a chance to talk to a lot of spiritual people, but this is for you, Azrael, or anybody that can answer it, because I had something happen recently, and I don't know what's going on. I would say about 4 weeks ago, my daughter and my granddaughter lives now with me, and my daughter would have been. It's early in the morning, and I was sleeping. I didn't hear it, but she told me what happened. But anyway, she could hear her daughter saying, "Mom, Mom, Mom." And Sonia woke up and she goes, "Abby, what do you want?" But Abby was not calling her Mom. She was asleep. Then Sonia said it was about, she fell back to sleep. I would say maybe half an hour after that, I could hear Sonia saying, "Mom, Mom." And I know it's Sonia. I said, "Sonia, what do you want?" I never got an answer. I walked in the room. I said, "Sonia, what do you need?" She goes, "Mom, I never called you." I said, "Okay, okay." I thought, okay, why am I hearing this? And then that's not the best. The next day, I'm looking down the hallway, and I see my daughter, Sonia, walking toward me, and she's kind of limping and stuff. And I looked up there, and the next thing you know, She's not there. And since then, um, nothing bad happened or anything like that. But I just usually those are signs. I just want to know if any of you guys know what that could be. That's my question.
I do, but I don't know exactly how to put it in words. So, um, if you want to answer Rowan first, whatever your interpretation could be. But, I had several circumstances similar to that.
Hmm. Um, I'm getting that there's a spirit trying to connect that is related familially to the family. Um, is there like someone that you know that looks like your daughter?
Know something? That could be
Hmm.
because there's somebody I'm looking to communicate with that's no longer here.
Yeah, I'm really getting that it's a family member. Azriel, are you feeling anything else with that?
Well, yes, and I do feel something, but the scenario is, see, what I know, and it didn't come initially from anybody, is that spirits do come in a form of feminine energy. They will never come in a masculine energy form, but you have to use your I guess your best judgment, because sometimes the curiosity can invite spirits that are benevolent. How do you say? Not friendly. They can
Oh,
be
that's
not friendly,
benevolent. So benevolent are the
malevolent.
nice ones, and malevolent are the mean
Yes.
ones.
So you have to be very very crucial, because the thing number one is how spirits communicate with an individual, especially some that you don't invite and they're just presenting themselves. Usually it will come in a form of a little girl, or like in a closet, somewhere hidden away, where your curiosity is, please come, and you calling upon it. And when you call upon it, it's like you calling on on it on demand. And when you call it on in demand, it's just like the story of a vampire. The vampire cannot come into your dwelling unless it's invited. So, so that's what I mean. Maybe have uh, discernment. Be very wise to how you approach it. Do not invite it, but ask. Is there any way that it can give you interpretation? Via an example, an object, not it's not going to move an object, but can it point to a specific direction, of a misplacement of a photo, a misplacement of your pen, or something that it's common and you see it on a day-to-day basis, but that one day that it disappears is the confirmation. So you need to be aware of it, but don't not invite it until you are 100% sure. Because the thing about it, you can open up a bag of worms and don't know how to get rid of it. So, it's the pros and the cons. The pros is that, yes, you are in contact with a spirit. And if it feels like it's a family member because you've been reaching out to a family member, communicate with it, but do not invite it. In other words, it might need a host. And by inviting it, you might become the host.
Yeah, one just tip is, because I'm clairsentient, and I know Azrael is too, because we walk around cemeteries sometimes together. Um, because of my gifts, I actually asked all the spirits to leave my house because I need a place that I don't need to be communicating with spirits. And also, I don't want a malevolent spirit coming in. Now, I will invite my spirit guides and like specific family members that I work with in my house, but they are the only ones allowed. And you can set up wards and protection in order to do that too. So that's always something, again, that actually goes into our spirit working our personal spiritual life, because you need to have balance and you need to have safety for yourself and your family. I am getting it some kind of family member, but like, Azrael, maybe it is somebody trying to pretend to be a family member.
exactly what I was aiming at. Specific pictures. Something that is personal that can be related to the individual. Because if it's something pretending, they will not know all the information. And there's so many tools out there. I don't sell stuff, I don't promote stuff, but you could pick up a book like this one here. This is a protection spells and charms book. And have you seen this, Emily?
I have seen that one. I No, I don't own that one. But Christopher Penczak, he's got The Witch's Shield, which is really good. And Jason Miller's got a really good one on protection also.
Yeah, because this one, the first thing is protect your property. So it does have stuff, prevent unwanted visitors. So this is what I'm saying, Brenda, is prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for circumstances like that. If you are not prepared for it, what are you willing to what I'm saying, are you willing to deal with a circumstance that you have no control, and that's the thing about it. So if it's an individual specifically that you wanted to contact, and that's what I recommend is, setting up something of an understanding. I do have a photo album full of pictures. Can you point out somehow, some which way, who you are, or so and so. So that way you need a confirmation. You need an idea, but be very, very wise, because I've done house cleansings and like to remove spirits from homes. I've been attacked. I've been hit over the head, a couple of times, and it's not the same impact as something physical hitting, but you're getting clonked over the head or chills in your body. And one of the things, on my astral projections and stuff like that, when I started doing my astral projections, I the same, I was able to also see spirits. And I'm talking about in the physical, and the way they approached me was as a little girl, a little girl's voice. And it's so innocent sounding, and it's so heartwarming that, an individual, without understanding it, you can become curious. And when you become too curious, you can actually invite something that, pretend. Evil has a way of actually manipulating an individual, and especially in a moment when somebody's curious or somebody's vulnerable.
Yep. So I see, and I'm going to add a couple things, but I see Jack says that he has a spirit in his house. Or she, sorry, I don't know if Jax, if you're a male, female, I don't know what your pronouns are. So Jax, one thing you can start with, and this goes for anybody, if you know you have a spirit in your house, is you ask them nicely to leave. And if the spirits are respectful enough, they will leave. If you try that and it did not work, like Azrael showed that book, Christopher Penczak's got the good one, Golden Dawn, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. They have quite a few things you can do to remove unwanted spirits from your house. You can always message me privately. I do sessions, and if you're in the Chicagoland area, I do cleansings too. So does Azrael. We do house cleansings. There's lots of little things we can do. But it is really important. Like when I cleansed my house, the first thing I actually said is I would like all the spirits in my house to please leave. And all but one went outside. I told them they could hang out in the yard. Now, the one that didn't want to leave the yard was a malevolent spirit, and I got his goose. He got out, and he hangs out where I literally have my yard warded, and he is not allowed in my yard, and he literally hangs out at the boundary, and I'm like, hang out there all you want, you're not coming on my property. So 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 find out, if that's what you're dealing with, Jax. So asking is sometimes like one thing that you can actually do is just ask them nicely to leave. So that's something that you can do.
Exactly what I'll do.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she's been having some weird experiences too. She said that, you know how people say it's like deja vu, like when you run into a situation and you know you already did everything before. Hers is happening a lot.
Okay. So you need to do a full cleansing.
I will.
You can do it something as simple. I like mugwort. Mugwort is, and this will go for you too, Jax. Mugwort is black sage. It is very strong. So what I like to do, and I don't have any Palo Santo right now on my table. I've just got regular sage. So what I actually do is I'll take a stick of Palo Santo and I put my mugwort around it and I tie it. You can see like when you bundle your herbs together, you've got them tied. I tie it together and then I go around my house. You can say anything you want. I typically say in perfect love and perfect trust, anything unhealthy, bringing negative energy or negative or malevolent, you need to leave this house now. And you need to say it in a confident, firm voice, because if it's not a confident, firm voice, they're just going to walk all over you. And you go through, you do everything. You do all your windows, you do all your doors, you do every single room. Do not miss anything. You need to do the whole thing. So what I usually do is I'll start where my back or my front door is, and I go around the whole house. I end it by opening the door where I started, and I ask them to leave. And that's just one simple way to do it. There's lots of other ways. I know we're kind of off, but Alien T, have you ever had experience needing to remove entities or spirits? And is anything you want to add?
Uh,
And welcome.
yeah, hi, Ron. Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. Hi, everyone. Absolutely. I've had experiences and um, I've used sage, I've used incense, but it's mostly intentions. Uh, and to do it in a place of love, not fear. That's important because, and I like what you're suggesting and recommending. Speak to them first. Maybe they're there to assist you. We don't know. So I think it's important not to panic and to understand that you have the power ultimately.
Yeah, and that's really true, Alien T. Sometimes they reach out to us because they want help. Um, I think, Azrael, I think you were with me at the cemetery. The the one gentleman that kept reaching out to me and pulling me, and then I ended up finding out that his wife, because he was asking where his wife was, and he was just waiting for that person that he knew had abilities. Were you with me? It's the cemetery we love to go to. I think you were there, Azrael. I don't know if
It,
Azrael's there.
it's a possibility, but I really can't. I don't want to say yes, and I could be wrong. I do recall that that cemetery has a connection with the other one in Chicago. So some of the individuals were moved from one cemetery to the other one in Clark Street. So I'm not sure if that's the scenario one, but
Yeah, we
it's
had that
correct.
one too. Oh, sorry, I think we lost you, Azrael.
Bad reception. Hold on, I'm moving around. It's got to move around. But yeah, I don't recall. But if you want to chime in a little bit more on it, because I know, many times that we've gone, to the cemeteries, especially for what we do there, you know, uh, there are spirits all around, even where I'm at, I've shown live here. I'm actually about 100, maybe 75 feet away from an actual cemetery. I'm on in Old Town. I'm in Lyles. I don't know if I ever told you, Emily. I'm in Lyle, Illinois, and across the street from me is an old blacksmith shop, and this is an old town. The individuals here, I think it's 40 to 50% indigenous. They're Potawatomi
Yep.
indigenous, and I have a cemetery from 1800. The first time that I moved into this place, I do see shadows and stuff like that. But it's just having the awareness. It's like minor business sometimes. But instances like that, it's always good to prepare yourself, and be have the awareness that you can open up a can of worms, and you don't want to do that unless you're prepared and have the tools to protect yourself.
Yeah. Yep. And I saw Jax had said he wanted to come, or he or she said that they wanted to come up, but I don't see them in the chat because they had a question they wanted to ask. So, if they come back, we can do that. But I think this actually like can segue into the topic, which is finding balance in our spiritual life. And those of us that have gifts, any of the Clara gifts or are empaths, we do have to definitely find balance because of the fact when we have spirits reaching out and contacting us, if we don't have that balance, we can get really drained. Not only drained, but heaven forbid, I'm like, if a negative entity attaches to us, um, possession is pretty hard. It can happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but it can happen. I've, seen some very interesting things. So, let's keep this with like, how can we practice our spiritual balance, especially if we have that gift? Candace, do you have any experience with that? Or do you want to talk about something else about finding balance in your spiritual life? And then we'll go to Azriel and then Brenda and Alien T.
Wow, wow! I had a hard time catching up. Finding balance in our spiritual life. Um, I have to say a secret because, well, I could call it a secret. Um, I've not read a book since junior high, which means I never read the other books we know about. And so I didn't start reading really until 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And the first book I read was The Four Agreements. Um, and no, that's the second book. The first book I read was Your Spiritual Journey, and it made no sense. So I have learned to take time into trying to find things that fit how I can understand things, if that makes sense. So if it's meant for me to read, then I read it. If it's meant for me to listen and observe, then I listen and observe, and that's how I work things. As far as people talking about their gifts and then having a spiritual visitor, I've had a few, but they've never been. They don't cross the line, if that makes sense. They don't cross the line with me, and but the dreams I've been having were crossing the line. So I'm not too sure what they're about, but I have excellent hearing, and I don't know why. So I don't know what it's called, but I can hear.
Oh, clairaudience.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's and yeah, and I have the ability to sense energy. I have the ability to do that.
Clairsentience.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm learning. I'm just a grade school kid in heart. I'm just grade school. But thank you. Next.
Thanks, Candace. All right, Azriel, I know, do you want to add anything? I know you and I have kind of dominated tonight.
Well, there's so much that I want to add because, there's some discussions that just gets my engine running. But before I chime into that, also, I did want to bring something up to Brenda. And Brenda, while this circumstance has been happening in your dwelling, in your place, has there been anything brought into the home, like a specific item from an estate sale or somewhere that was gifted, something new that was brought into the home that could have brought an attachment as well. And that's something that you have to think of because that's remember I was talking about the protocols and the steps one needs to do. And everything that we do before we take actions, we also always have to reflect on the situation and the circumstance. What has happened differently in the past couple of days since this occurred? So is there anything new that has been brought into the home whether it was something that was brought through the mail. The mailman might have brought something like something might have been purchased. Maybe something was handed down from one individual to another individual. Perhaps something was picked up from a resale store, and so forth and so forth. So it's narrowing down something like that. And if it's nothing like that, then you can scratch that off the list. And then you can narrow it down. And one thing that Candace mentioned, she's learning. And that's one thing about balancing, finding self balance. It's continually learning, always learning. Never say, you know what, I know enough, and that's enough. And because you stay stagnant, and when you're stagnant, you disallow yourself to be aware of what's going on. And that's the number one thing, is you have to allow yourself to learn and constantly learn. And once you're learning, but one thing, and I'm going to cut it pretty short. I don't want to take too long because I talk a lot. And I tell you, on AT, I always tell you I talk too much. Is We talk about self-love, and but what is self-love? Self-love is also self-care, and we need to take a priority upon ourselves to think about our physical situation, whether it's our mental, our physical, self. So we need to rest. We need to eat right, properly, and drink a lot of fluids. Our body is 60, 70% water and liquid. So we always got to remain hydrated. So, self care, self love, and all these things will help us actually maintain a healthy body. So that way we're able to focus on how to maintain a balanced life, whether it's spiritual or in the physical form. So it's all about us taking care of ourselves first and have that vessel. So that way that vessel is not disrupted by lack of sleep. So many times I myself as a kid, not a kid, but as a teenager with my buddies, I used to sleep over their house. They used to sleep over my house, and we stay up for almost 2 days. And then what happens after 2 days of not sleeping? We get delirious and we get clumsy and start seeing things and just acting weird. And I can't be balanced if I don't sleep. So that's the key: is self love, self care.
It's 100%. And until we and you have to learn it and apply it. And that's the hardest thing, because if you grew up not understanding self-love and self-care, it is hard to apply it. But once you apply it, it becomes part of your daily life. And make sure you have that, especially if you're going to work with spirits, or if spirits are around. You want to make sure that you are in a healthy, balanced place. Because if we're not healthy and balanced, that's when things don't go the way we want. All right, Brenda, anything you would like to add about, about your spiritual practice in your daily routine, or how, well, your situation's been a little bit different, but is there anything you want to add?
Myself, I only allow, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been seeing spirits since I've been a young girl. But the spirits that I see, they're not bad. They're family members. And I think I got this figured out based on what Alien T said. Because the person I heard and who I'm looking to hear from, when I say mother, would be my mother too. Because my mother hasn't come. My brother came to me a long time ago and helped me. My sister came and saved me. My brother came in the shape of an orb and told me everything that's going on afterwards and our afterlife. So that changed me spiritually there, so I'm not worried about that. And my sister came to me. And when they come, they always come younger than what they are. I think it's the age they choose when they go on. They can choose the age they want to be at. But who hasn't come to me has been my mom. I've been missing my mom a lot. So for my daughter's an empath. And my granddaughter, she's really good too. Really good. So I know what's here. It's not bad. I've seen something bad in this house, let me tell you. I got rid of it. and I know what bag came into my house and who bought it in. But that got rid of that a while ago. But I've been seeing a lot of shadows and stuff like that. But that I would say it's my mom. So I'm gonna do with I figured it out. I'm gonna ask my mom to come to me in dream and tell me what she wants to tell me because I've been wanting to see her for a while. And I'm glad, Aileen, you came on the fly because all the dots are lining up. And how I keep myself in balance is meditation. And for protection, I put protection on my home and my family. And I believe in, I don't know if you guys know anything about this, but every day that I get up, I thank God, first of all, that I'm alive. Because and then I like to put myself, they call it a love bubble. I put everything in that love bubble. I put my homes, I put all my family, my animals, my cars, and I always do a prayer. And when I go to, after I put my protection on my vehicles and stuff, it's always to get to and from wherever I'm traveling, my family travels. Any sickness that I have in my home and my family, I ask for that too. I know that He can't do everything, but I think Creator higher. I know we are one. We're all one. We're just a fractal of ourselves. So we used to be all one, and that one broke up, and we became, I don't know if what you want to call it. To me, we're like an atom.
Or a cell.
Yeah, a cell.
Yeah.
And so when I make I call it it's a protection bubble. I always put my intention, what I want in there, what to happen and stuff, and I do it religiously. And before I send that up, because I send that up to heaven, I can see the bubble going up in the sky, right up to the stars. I take anything that's negative and I throw it down to Mother Earth for purification. Any negativity, I don't want none of that around. And then I can see it. I can see that bubble moving up in the heavens, and then it goes right there. And I tell you, that love bubble has protected me and my family so many times in my home.
Yeah.
But I love coming to these lives and learning, you guys. I think you guys, and I can't imagine. Look at, I tell you, Israel is amazing. Alien T, oh my God, he's amazing. I got to get to meet him once. I never seen anybody like that in my life. And you, I heard you on his live. You are beautiful. You're beautiful, the stuff you can do as well. You get such great people. I'm so happy.
Well, the energy we put out, we bring people with that energy, and then we just increase the energy from there. So our frequencies always are growing and getting better and better. Thank you.
Allowing me to come up. I appreciate that.
You're
To be with
welcome.
these great people.
Yep. All right, Alien T, guess what? We're going to put you on the spot now. So, the one of the big questions I've been kind of asking before you joined was how you can integrate your spiritual practice in your daily routine, or if there's anything else you want to add about if you're working with the spirits and how you can make sure that you're balanced while you work with spirits. So, whichever one you want to answer, if you want to answer both.
Oh, okay. I like this. First of all, Brenda, wow, very beautiful words. Um, you know, when we look at maybe some people that speak more, um, But I respect everyone. I love when you come up and speak as well. You have a lot to offer. And yeah, I'm just glad I got to meet beautiful people like you and Rowan and others here, DG, Chaos there, Azrael, of course. This is my daily practice, spirituality. I've just embodied it. I said, let's do it. I'm a realtor and for over 30 years, and I've been in at least 10,000 homes. When you go into different homes, you get to understand energy and you feel it. And so through that experience, exposure, I've come to understand that, I can't really light up a sage in someone's home while I'm showing it to do that. But I use the power of imagination, like what Brenda was saying. And imagination, there's no coincidence that the word magi is in there. It is not something for to be just, it's not for our entertainment. It is powerful. And to me, it's the workshop of our energetic being, of who we are. And so, being able to visualize and to stay balanced, you can actually cleanse a home that way, in my opinion. However, there are instances where you need more. So I don't know if I answered both questions or none. I'm trying.
You did. That's why, Azrael was like, "Oh, you're gonna love Alien Tea." So, like, he was telling me all about you back in September when we were at the Theosophist. So those of you in the Chicagoland area, the Theosophical Society, which is a very great place to go, they do what they call Theosophist. And it's really great because you may run into me and Azrael. So, or, fly in for it if you really want, you guys. We could all go for dinner after. But that was very beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Alien Tea. So, DG Chaos, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How about you?
I am living the dream. We're just gonna leave that there. I'm just living the dream, just doing the things. March is my month. March is my month.
And
So
we're almost there.
I'm prepaying. Okay, it's good. It's better than it was 6 months
I thought
ago.
it was the 27th, and then I was like, "Oh, we have a week."
For a split second, I was like, "Huh?"
Yeah. No, it's the 20th. It was really weird. I'm like, I don't know how I went from the 19th to the 27th, but I did.
Wishing and hoping and praying. I feel that.
But
Today.
welcome. So I saw you had a couple comments, so I'm guessing it's on because I saw some of the comments you were saying more along working with the spirits. So do you want to add? Like, I know you had something you really wanted to share, so go ahead. Take some time.
I want to tell you my analogy for I use it to explain like healthy relationships, but like it's really the collective, like all of us. She was saying like we're fractals of a whole, right? If you think about the human heart, it's 4 chambers. It's one muscle that works, and it moves differently. So if you think of the heart as the whole, we are cohesively autonomous. So like that, we are our own individual, but it's the butterfly effect. Everything impacts everything. It's a cohesive autonomy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. For me, when I work with people, she was saying, and if it doesn't fit, that's totally fine. I wasn't reading you. This is just something that's worked for a lot of people that I work with because I work grief and trauma with people. Anytime there's a spirit that is not coming through or not being seen or heard or whatever, however it is for the person, 9 out of 10, even if they're like, no, I've done the trauma work. No, I've done the grief work. I don't understand. There's something underlying that creates a block. And it's not that they're not there, we don't see them, or we're not. It's that we can't process it, and the channel's not clear. So I heard something today that it hit my brain as soon as she said, "I think I've got it," and I'm going to call her into my dreams tonight. And so try it if you would like to, Brenda. If not, again, I don't. It's fine. Sit with your feet, like your knees bent and your feet together. Bring your knees up until your legs shake, and keep them there. Let them shake. It releases and keep your trauma in your thighs, and your glutes, and like we store trauma there. And the release, I mean, it's a heavy emotion. It creates a big emotional release. But I mean that might make it. I don't know. It might help. If it does, I would love it if you would let me know, because I had no intention of even like repeating it until I tried it, and I kept hearing it over and over. And like as you were speaking, I was like, "Oh, I need to tell her this. I need to tell her this." So hopefully that's helpful for you. And then also, there's a grief and trauma workbook in my bio that's always free. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to give me your email. There's no strings attached. I made it for my husband when my husband passed. And so it's not edited. It's kind of a wreck, but it's super helpful, and it's free. So yeah, sorry. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I want to share something because the topic is finding balance in your spiritual life, and we've talked a lot. We've been kind of all over the place, which is fine. We can do that because we always can learn and grow spiritually. But I wanted to share this. When we balance our spiritual life, it is our personal journey. So it is your personal journey. And the most important thing is to be intentional about integrating your spiritual practice into your daily life in a way that is meaningful to you and authentic to you. And as you do this, you become more authentic. So with that said, here's the big question for this round. So, all right. What spiritual practice resonates with you? This could be prayer, meditation, journaling, spending time in nature. So, Azriel, guess what? You're in the first box now. So, what spiritual practice resonates with you for helping you to balance your life?
Breathing
And more
in
than
and breathing
one.
out.
More than one.
So it's taking a moment to actually, uh, I guess it's a small meditation where I allow the sun to actually cast upon me um, the warmth and the warmth of the light. And basically, it's any time where I am questioning or feel off balance or nerve wrecked because I do drive a lot when I'm on a day-to-day basis. So I'm always out there in the midst of chaos because people are erratic out there. Some are knuckleheads that just don't care about others. So what I do is always find a place where I'm settled, whether it's in my vehicle or out of the vehicle, and just look in for the sun and close my eyes and just breathe in and breathe out and accept it and accept the moment and just quiet everything around me and feel just like a windmill and just be in stillness. And I guess, it's decompressed and it's just allowing the essence of the sun to nurture me because, every individual has different techniques and different practices. And through my astral projection, I was always taught that, the sun to me would be like a egg yolk and whatever nutrition or whatever I needed will always be coming from that egg yolk. So that's why I do that. I don't need to meditate for extensive time. It's just quieting down and just accept it. So it becomes like the rays of, like a Reiki. So almost like a Reiki. performed by either itself or by another individual, but I'm allowing the sun to actually perform Reiki on me.
That is so beautiful, Azrael. And I have to say, like, I know Azrael in person, and he is actually the sun. So I can say that, and we've had some great experiences together. So it's really neat that we're able to share some of this here. But thank you so much, Azrael, because that is really beautiful. And the sun is life. I mean, if you think about it, without the sun, we would not have any of our plants. And we have to have plants because we eat fruits and vegetables, but a lot of the animals, if you're not vegan and vegetarian, a lot of them eat plants, or like lions, they have to eat the herbivores. So, it is a cycle of life. So without the sun, we miss out on a lot. It's a great source. So that's so beautiful. I love that. So that's a part of nature. Thank you, Azrael. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, it's just that, my brother Alien T here knows that I'm very humble, and I don't like to go too much, because I do believe we all are mutual. All of us are just, and it's just being in the presence of wonderful individuals like you that bring tears to my eyes, and I just appreciate you, and thank you guys.
Well, thank you. All right, Brenda, what spiritual practice resonates with you?
Well, you know something? I'm opposite of Azrael. I love darkness.
Mhm.
I like to be in the dark with no noise. That brings me when I'm in that area all by myself, and I like to be by myself. And I like to be in as dark as it can be. And I just like to concentrate on myself. I'm so happy. That opens my soul. That's where I find my peace.
So beautiful. And that's like so much self-love and self-care too. It goes hand in hand with balancing our spiritual life. Anything else you'd like to add, Brenda, before we move to Alien Tea?
And I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to spirituality and stuff like that, like I learned a lot from the people that are here. Like that's why I like going to those lives. Like, like I didn't know about meditation until I come. I didn't even know what TikTok is. I'm going to be honest with you. My granddaughter, she went and she was going on there. She goes, Nana, she said you might like that. So she got it on there, and then I went on there and I met. I met the first person I met was yes, you are James. He's nice, and who was on his live was Gabe and Azrael. And when I used to ask questions a lot, Azrael always answered my questions, and I liked the way he answered it because he answered it that I understand what he was saying. And then I always was scared to go to because I like going on Alien Teeth Live. I was always scared there because I think, what if they ask me a question I don't know the answer to? And then one day on Yes Sir, who came on there? And that's weird. I think I'm pretty sure Gabe, he called him Alien T. It was weird because he was talking about Alien T, and next thing you know, he was there. And then I got to meet him. I was so excited because to me, like him and Astro and Gabe, I'll be honest, man, they're the best. And you know what I like about, I don't want to embarrass you guys, but I never seen somebody with such a nice soul. Like is Alien T, Israel, Gabe, because you can go on there. You might not be in the same place as everybody else, but they make you feel, and I know it's honest, you You fit in. You don't have to feel, I think if I went on there and I didn't know an answer, I don't think that I would just be able to say something else. But these people are amazing. And I'll stand in the background and I'll listen to, when I don't understand stuff, I learn from listening to other people and I like what they say and I do what they say. Take what resonates with you. And I like to write things down. Oh my God, I love writing things down. And so, yeah, I'm glad we have a place like this. And then when I came here, I seen you before. I seen you on Alien Teas Live, but I seen Ezreal in here, and I wanted that question asked. And then look at the great people I meet tonight. That to me, that's amazing. And when I got to meet Alien T, oh my God, he's like my idol. To be honest. And my granddaughter, she goes, Dana, don't be saying stuff like that. I said, my God, I got the chance to talk to him. I was so happy. And I wish, Alien T, you would sell swag. I would buy your swag. And you should, and I'll tell you one thing, you should write a book. Your knowledge is out of this world. There's no reason why you shouldn't be writing a book. I'd buy it, I can guarantee you. So would millions of people. Look at that. Look at the people agreeing. We need you to get that imprint for us.
Yeah, so we're expecting t-shirts and sweatshirts, beanie hats.
Cups.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Brenda. So Alien T, we're just going to put you on the spot. Look at that. See
Oh
how
wow, I'm not used to all this. Honestly, Brenda, you're amazing. Alien T-shirts for sure. A book? Yeah, I think I've got a book in me. We'll see. I'll keep in touch with everyone if I do. So spiritual practice.
Yes. What resonates with you within your personal spiritual practice? What resonates?
Okay. I'm all about energy. I'm an energy worker of sorts, whether it be reading it, whether it be transmuting it. I didn't know this until recently, but ultimately, for me, when you look at practices, yes, I meditate. Yes, I pray. Very simple gratitude prayers. It's more meditation than receiving. I try to embody what everyone talks about. I try to put it into practice. And for me, what I found was the only spiritual practice I have to do, and it's the way I start my day, the way I end my day, and try to maintain it throughout the day in between. Not always, but I try. And that's gratitude. Because when you have gratitude, everything else has to fall into place to match that frequency. And for me, it's all about balance within, and then the outer world around you starts to match that. So I don't even know if people consider gratitude or a spiritual practice. I know, do I have a magic wand and a crystal ball? Maybe. But what I'm talking about is simple gratitude first and foremost as a foundation.
Aileen T, I truly believe that gratitude is really helpful. I had a friend who said, hey, try a gratitude jar. And I was going through trauma at the time, and I was like, okay. And it literally shifted so much of the energy that was like stagnant, because like it's okay to be angry, but that anger was turning into hate, and I had like a horrid energy. Like you guys would have been like, what? Like you guys would have been like running from me. But I would write something like, my daughter drew me a picture today. That was what I was grateful for. Or, hey, we had a great dinner tonight, and it was like little things. And now there's like 3 jars, and I'll like, if I'm feeling kind of bummed, I'll literally grab the jars and just start opening, because I'll take the paper and I fold it, and put it in there, and I'll take and unfold. And it's really neat because there's cute things from when my kids were really little, and now they're all adults, but it's really cute to see, like, wow, this is really cool. And so that is a beautiful practice. How do you practice the gratitude, if you don't mind sharing?
Okay, so when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is I try to connect to a certain type of energy that I've come to know over the years outside of myself. And when I connect to it, I just say good morning and thank you for another, for allowing me another opportunity, another day to experience this beauty. It's just, I've changed my outlook on everything. And I could be standing in mud barefoot when I'm saying that on a cold day, and I would still say that, and I would still feel that. And then along the way, now here's the thing. We're going to have encounters during this experience where, someone might come at you, totally different energy. And, for me, I've learned how to, when needed, pull back energetically and stay balanced within myself. So for me, it's looking for the best in everything because it's there if we look. So that's for me. I just honestly try to discipline my perspective on things and look for the best in things.
That is so beautiful. This is one thing I love about these panels, is how we can grow from each other. They're just really super amazing. And tomorrow night, Alien T does have a panel, and I'll let him next round. I'll let him talk a little bit about tomorrow's panel, because we'll do one more question before we call it a night. But with that said, Chaos, what spiritual practice resonates with you? Or if there's more than one, please feel free to share.
So there, I have, it depends on really where I'm at with my own mental space. So I was raised, in forced gratitude. I was raised to be grateful for the breath in my lungs, right? So, it took a long time for me to really understand why people just weren't grateful that, you know, for every little thing. I understand now that it was more of a trauma. So for me, I practice a lot of self-gratitude. I struggled with that a lot. So I, it sounds, yeah, you guys know me. I no longer aspire to be humble. I aspire for all the greatness that I'm worth. And what I use it for is what I will use it for, what I do use it for is what I'm meant to use, like what I'm told to. I just work here, right? So I think for me, standing in my power and allowing my channel, I do the same thing in the morning. Don't call me. Don't call me. Don't think you're going to get a hold of me. Don't think you're going to look at me. Like literally, I'm off limits until like 3 p.m. for most people because that's my time. And I interact with people constantly. And I don't have a concept of self-love other than to take myself out of anything that impacts me that shouldn't impact me. And I think using those things combined are imperative to my mental health. When I don't do it, we see a shift. We see me go out for I leave for a few weeks, you know what I mean? Like because I got to get back into it. But if I'm doing really well, the only thing that I integrate is tapping. Like I tap my chin, my jawbone, and my chin, and my chest, and my like all the spots. And it I find that it's, for my ADHD, it's the quickest, easiest, most efficient way to ground and center and bring myself back to 0 point. So, yeah. Also, the dark. I love the dark. I love the dark.
Isn't that, it's kind of funny because like I like the dark too, so it's looking like, our guys like the sun and the rest of us like the moon. We'll find out when we get to Candace. And actually, we didn't ask Alien T. Alien T, are you a sun or a moon? Light or dark?
Okay, so I am a campfire under a moonlight. I don't like
Oh,
I don't like it too dark or too light. I do like the
okay.
middle somewhere. Yeah.
In between. So we know Alien T's playing with the Fae. So,
Makes so
I'll throw
much
that.
sense.
Yeah, I just got to throw that out there because I know the wonderful thing about the spiritual thing is we have, or our spiritual panels is we have people from all different religions and spiritual paths. So for those of us that practice the occult and witchcraft that like to work with the Fae, yes, we just have to make sure Alien T is protected from the tricks. So, all right,
I'm sorry.
Candace.
When I was in, I remember back in I found a book from grade 3, and I was drawing a pentagram in a circle back then, not knowing what it was. I
Isn't
don't
that
know.
cool?
Protection, right?
Yeah, it is protection. Yep, I wear mine every day. But yes, it is protection. It is funny how that happens. How we draw some of those symbols and sigils and when we're little and then all of a sudden go, oh wait. Yep, there we go. There we got another one. Up a little bit though, Azrael. You leaned in, we could see your chin. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, Candace, we're going to put you on the spot. What spiritual practice resonates with you?
Morning, just putting my shoes on and my feet on the ground here in my room. I say a prayer of protection while me and Tika, and it's a 3 sentence prayer, and then we go for a walk, and I am putting my music on, and one of the songs that I play every time I take my walk on the VA property is the song by Stan Walker, I Am. And we are like the rivers, the waters and the streams. I love that song because it gets my day started, and it gets my heart pumping, where the walk is so brisk and so wonderful. you know um People, when they wake up, you're stiff, you get older, you're stiff, your body's stiff, and but I start my morning knowing that the day is going to be good, and that way, it doesn't take that long to take Tika for a walk, and that's how I start my day. I do meditate frequently during the day, thanks to a friend we all know, uh, and it has done amazingly well for my sleep routine. I do get woke up at, and I have no idea why, between 2 and 2:30, and then 2:33 every day. So there must be a reason why. And it's a continued cycle lately. And so, yeah, so I pay attention to the little things in my meditation time, and um, the knowing that it's working because I like it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't use it. And so, and also, it comes very well versed for what you said the last time we talked, is when I went out to the river here with Mike, just listening to the water run, just listening to the leaves on the trees and the birds singing, and our friends, the crows, just coming down and just saying hi, and taking that time. That's a form of meditation for me as well. and it works so well to clear the soul. And by the way, Kathy, I do have, what I said in the chat, by the way. So, but thank you.
Wonderful. That's so beautiful. Nature's kind of my go-to. Well, I'm going to kind of answer the question too. So, I give myself Reiki every morning. And at some point in the day, I write something that I'm grateful for. I don't have that in my schedule, but I always add something. But my favorite thing that I'm really impatient for, like Alien T was saying when he stands in the mud, I love to walk barefoot in nature. So I'll even sometimes they have what's called the Prairie Path here in the Chicago area. I'll literally get there and sometimes just take my shoes off and walk on it. But yeah, I'll be in the forest preserve barefoot. I'll be at the cemetery barefoot, my yard barefoot. I know it's not like good for your feet, but I'm like, it's good for your feet because I have no feet problems and Mother Nature has connected to me. Also, my most favorite, which I'll even do in the snow, is hugging a tree. I know it sounds so crazy, but if you ever even just feel the slightest bit upset, they have like their ancient roots are so deep in the ground, so it's connected to Mother Earth, and then their branches go straight up in the sky to touch Father Sky. And so to be able to like just go and put your arms around the tree and give it a hug, it will give you just the most beautiful energy. So yes, we can tell I'm an earth worshiper. So so with that, if you have not, I just started going lives not too long ago. So on Tuesdays, I do tarot readings. I'll do one card tarot pulls. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, so 9:30 Eastern. That would be what, 7:30 Mountain and 6:30 Pacific, and I'll be reading tarot cards. So that'll be this next Tuesday, and then Thursday I'm going to be here with. Thank you, Azriel, for being my moderator. So I really appreciate Azriel's help and guidance, and will help guide you and everybody who's been up and down on panel, because a few of you have been here. So so I want to thank everybody as we get into. We're going to do one last question for everybody, and you guys ready? So how do you balance your spiritual practice with your mundane life? There's a handful for you. Azriel, you ready?
Well, it's as smart as I may sound. What exactly is mundane? If mundane is just normal life.
Yeah, our normal life. I'm just going to use the fancy word for it.
Well, I think, I kind of answered it prior, but in that sense, it's, taking the time, carving some time where I can just simply enjoy the moment, the present moment, and practice, what I've done, and that's be at the moment, because, one thing I, like everybody else, is on a quest, and this quest is the journey of understanding life and the purpose and everything. And we're learning to know what our goals are. So as I learn what my goals are, I am seeing a lot of things with a perspective that I never thought it was possible. And not to take away from the darkness, because I also appreciate the moon. I love the moon, but I want to share something with you and everybody that's here tonight. The only reason that I look at the sun, because I'm putting these things together. And when we close our eyes, we see darkness. Yes, we see darkness, but yet that darkness is actually the darkness of the womb. So when every time that we close our eyes and meditate, or when we go to sleep, we're actually returning to the womb. And that womb is darkness. And when we see the light, is a reminder that when we always close our eyes, it's like us going into the water, the ocean, and in the depths of the ocean, the sun is above the water, and that's where life goes. Life goes toward the sun, toward the light. So anytime that we're in darkness, no matter what, if it's a pleasant darkness or just the darkness of growth, because we are reborn every time we open up our eyes. So what I do is, like, I carve a moment, meaning, I make some time. I don't beat myself about it, because sometimes I might get overwhelmed. I might not have that that comfort, because I might be pressured due to the fact that I walked out the door a little bit later than I supposed to. So now everything becomes crunch time. So I always remind myself that it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that I can nurture myself with. And meditating or self medication, because meditation to me is allowing myself to heal, to nurture myself. And if I forget to nurture myself, nature around me reminds me that nature and nurture are almost the same word. So I nurture myself, and that allows me to actually go amongst my day, be able to achieve all my achievements, whatever I set out to do, and make it fun. And make it fun by appreciating, being in the present moment, and simply allowing myself that if I ever feel a little off balance, that I can always remind myself to go back into that womb, close my eyes, look toward the light, and I'm reborn because I'm back into the light. And that's a key that I do on a day-to-day basis because, after hearing many experiences and stories of individuals talking about NDEs and stuff like that, the womb reminds me of the ocean, the water, and the light. And I putting it all together, and I'm having fun with it. And I enjoy the passion that I gain from it and the passion that others speak about their journeys because it becomes fulfilling. And when it becomes fulfilling, we can live a day in our lives without eating nothing and be fulfilled and full. Our tummies are full, our mind is full because we're feeding our thoughts, our soul, and everything with life and the journey of life itself. And with that, I yield.
Well, thank you, Azrael. That was really beautiful. Do you want to tell anybody what you're like up to? I know you used to go live, but just want to share about your music or anything?
No, I'm not, well, because I don't think I need to explain myself. It's just
Yeah.
I love to learn, and I think in my stage of where I'm at in the present moment, I think I need to step back a little bit, not gatekeeping, but I'm stepping back a little bit because you know what, I might have missed something, and I think I'm in search for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think I need to pursue anything further. And and until I find what I'm looking for, then I'll be able to say, you know what, guys, I'm gonna start doing lives or something. In the meantime, I don't mind supporting anybody here. I'm here, with open arms and here to receive any questions, here to receive any advice and so forth. So I'm just in the midst of just enjoying life, day to day. And I'm a very emotional person, but I tend not to really want to be like that. And I just got a spider on my head. Oh, darn it. But anyhow, so that's, I think, I should bite my tongue and just say that, I appreciate everybody. And that's it. I don't need to explain. You guys know me. And, where I need to be, I will be there. And that's all that I want to share is that I appreciate everybody here. And with Alien T's words, I have much love and gratitude for everybody. I want, and that's all that matters to me. That's the greatest gift that you guys have given me is the ability to be at the right place where I need you. You know what I'm saying? I know where to find you because we can recognize that energy anywhere. We don't need to speak, for it happens for a reason, and that's what I'm accepting is that I'm looking for something, and it's nothing specific. It's I know, and it's all about it's gonna be there.
Very true. Thank you so much, Azrael. Brenda, so how do you balance your spiritual practice?
Well, first of all, I'll let you know I walk every day for thankfulness because I don't take anything for granted. I want to live my life to the fullest, no matter what comes my way. I will overcome it. I believe in being positive no matter what comes my way. There's always a positive outcome. Even though it may not look positive at that time, it will show the true light. And I love work. I enjoy working. I've been working since I was 15 years old. I started working as a young girl. And I excel where I work. And I love the company I work for. And they show me nothing but beauty there. And I like the job that I'm in because I'm in a job of servitude to the people. And I love helping people. That gives me, my heart loves that. And I'm always care for my family, look after my family. So any day that I can get up, I'm going to do the best and be the best I can be. And that makes me happy.
So beautiful. So Brenda, I don't know if you go live on your channel or if you want to share anything you do. I know I've seen you on Alien Teas before, so.
I don't have a channel.
Okay.
I like coming on people's live.
Well, we
And I
like
like
that.
learning. That's honest.
Yes. And learning is growing, and so that's so important. I love when we surround ourselves with people who want to learn and grow because we just are going to flourish, and that's the beautiful thing. So thank you so much, Brenda. All right, Alien T, last question. How do you balance your spiritual practice?
First of all, Rowan, you're very good at this. Let me just say, I love this live, and I try to attend whenever I have time and can find you. And also to Brenda, it doesn't matter that you don't have a channel. You have 20 channels. You can go on different lives, and it's important because even my live when I host it, it's just a space. And if you guys don't come by, it's empty. There's nothing there. You guys give it life, and just everyone show up. That's how I to answer. Okay, I've got two parts, but showing up to me, it's actually literally intuitively what I heard I needed to do here on TikTok, and I was wondering like, what? First time I came on this app was like, what? Am I losing my mind? Like, the universe wants me to be here. I saw people dancing and stuff like way younger than me. And then I came across the spiritual community and then I understood. So showing up, and Keys also said it in the comments perfectly, wherever you go, there you are. There was a time when I had an on-off switch. Turn on the spirituality, then turn it off and go to work. And then through experience, I realized that it's not an on-off switch, it's a dimmer that you can turn, and you can bring spirituality in your everyday practices and interactions with others. So for me, that's what because I like it. I like being spiritual, and I like my spiritual side. I want to embrace it. Although I can't, be alien T all the time when I'm out, dealing with people that are looking for a different thing, perhaps. I do try to maintain, some sort of a connection to that in everything I do. But balance is important. It's not always easy. And I love the question, Rowan. I love this live.
Thank you. I try to do the same, Alien T, because my spiritual practice is so important to me. So I try to integrate it into everything because my husband's like, you're always doing something spiritual, even when you're at your job. so, so always good to hear that. Do you want to go ahead and share? Do you know what tomorrow's theme is for your live tomorrow night?
Yeah, thank you. So, okay, tomorrow night again, 10 p.m. Eastern. I always go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. And this week I've been doing a book series, and I decided, and I mentioned it near the end of the live last night, and everyone seemed to like the idea. We're going to do a poetry live, so people can write their own poems or dig up some of the older ones and share it live. That's what I'm doing. Poetry, poems by you, tomorrow night.
All right, I'll probably I haven't written a poem in a long time, but I can think of a few from some of my favorites I'll bring.
So that's poetry is very spiritual. It is light language of sorts. Yeah, people love it. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow night. And thank you for allowing me to promote that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So thank you for joining tonight, Aileen T, and thank you so much. It's been for me, it's been a blessing to be in this spiritual community. And I try to jump up on Alien Teas unless I'm really, really tired, then I just listen. So, all right, Chaos, your turn. How do you balance your spiritual practice?
Wait. I'm so excited about tomorrow night, ALT. I'm so excited. I can't for the life of me make it to Sunday. Sorry, that's all. Okay.
No, you're fine.
You better bring your poetry. I want to hear it.
Touche. I'm gonna make a new one just for you. I'm gonna write a new one just for you. Actually, I have a couple good ones that I've written since then, so I got you. So for me, I struggle more with forgetting my human. I struggle with the concept of material anything. Like, if I didn't have humans that needed me, I can't imagine where the human I embody would be. Because I forget sometimes to step back into the human, and that's why I have to take the big breaks. So for me, the way that I balance my human and my spiritual is I have to be human for a little bit of time. And it doesn't mean that I gatekeep anything I get or anything like that. That's not what I mean at all. Usually I end up on lives like this instead of going live myself, and end up in conversations instead of readings, or I write. So it's not that I don't bring spiritual into my humaning. I just forget to bring humaning into my spiritual sometimes. And I try really hard to be whatever I understand as the best version of me at the point that I am in. So today it's one way, tomorrow it may be another. I stand firmly in it, and I try to embody it spiritually and physically. I don't always do great with the human, but I do my best,
That's so beautiful, though. It really is. Sometimes we can get lost in our spirituality, and is that really a bad thing? I don't know. I love my spiritual side, but we do need to be balanced.
I agree. My humans think otherwise, though.
Yeah. So, Chaos, do you want to share anything special you're doing? I know you help people out, and so that's really important. But if you want to share, please feel free to share right now.
I'm really bad at selling myself, but I actually have some really awesome things happening right now. I'm doing a podcast. We do it on live on Wednesdays. We didn't do it last night because life is life, but we do it on Wednesdays, and I have a really, really, really good friend who is Bible driven, Southern Baptist raised tarot reader. She stands firmly in herself and her belief in her love of Jesus, and she knows she's a theology minor. She speaks Hebrew. She's so smart. She's a historian, and we put my downloads that I've had up against history and the Bible and see if they are at all congruent. And then we kind of deconstruct it all. So I brought Lilith to her plate, and she was like, no, 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 no. And then because I mean, I told her everything I got, and there was a piece of it that she was like, nope, that doesn't make any sense. That don't make no sense. And then on the podcast, she was like, so I found somewhere where the earliest Hebrews and believed that Lilith was the serpent. And when I tell you, I almost fell out of my seat. My chin hit the floor. I was like, I told you, So it's a lot of fun deconstructing all of it and having a different understanding. She stands firm in her beliefs, even though I say some off the wall, bat crazy crap, man. I say it all to her. And she takes it and she finds a way to, it's spirituality and reality with religion. It's bringing it all together to where we can coexist, not just mutually, but like respectfully and with an understanding. And, that's really exciting for me right now.
That is exciting. So everybody look out for Chaos's podcast. So that's fun. Really fun.
I'm going to be on the round table. I just saw Tantra come in. And we're going to have a debate, not debate.
Discussion.
He said, do you think you would piss me off if I debated you? And I was like, I sure do.
That's funny. Well, I want to thank everybody who joined the panel tonight. Thank you so much. And they'll probably get longer because this is really the first time I've done a panel without doing just tarot readings. So I want to thank everybody so much. And just, I have learned with my spiritual path, and I really feel inspired to share. I felt so lost, like I didn't have a spiritual connection. And then as I started to get it, I realized it's in everything. So even when I'm preparing food, it is very spiritual for me. When I'm making candles, because I make candles, it's a whole spiritual process for me. So everything I put forth, it is part of my spiritual life. And I find myself more balanced. And I have a beautiful energy that I can share with others, and I'm not cranky, so that's a good thing. But yes, I love being able to do that. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight, for finding balance in your spiritual life and this wonderful discussion. And thank you to all the panel members that are here. And I know we had a couple panel members drop. So thank you so much, everybody. And I'm really bad at shouting out what I do, but like I said earlier, I do tarot. I'll be doing one card tarot pulls on Tuesdays at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then on Thursdays, I'll be starting at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we'll do a little panel. So I'll come up with a theme for next week. But in the meantime, I do teach classes. They are occult classes in witchcraft. You can find those on my Patreon or on my website, and that is in my bio. So if you're not following me, please follow me. And don't forget to like this video. And everybody on the panel, please make sure you follow everybody on the panel, because it's a very beautiful, beautiful spiritual community, and you will grow, you will bloom, and you will find joy and happiness in your own life as you learn little tips and tricks from everybody to join their spiritual path. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Merry meet, merry part, and namaste. Bye, and good evening.
Right.
And thanks, Azriel, for moderating.
Pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. And namaste, everybody.